everyone, I'm back with another novel illustration, and this week I'm doing an illustration for the novel Few Are Angels by the author IVERSEN. And this book starts off with Ella, who is this character I'm drawing right here, and Ella's parents have recently died, and Ella has recently gotten out of a mental hospital because, for one, she's not dealing with her parents' death very well at all, and for two, she has dreams, very realistic dreams, where she's being killed by something. Now, she doesn't really know it yet, but Ella is dreaming about her past lives. Now, Ella is something called an arc, and she has the ability to see into the past and stuff that has happened in the past, including her past lives. And there are people, which I will get more into this later, who want to use that power. But anyway, so the book starts off with Ella. She's staying at a close family friend's house due to her parents' death. And like I said, she's having a really tough time with it. She's just got out of the mental hospital, so she's kind of walking on eggshells. She wants to tell people about these dreams. At the same time, she doesn't want anything to do with these dreams, and she kind of just wants to forget about them and, you know, just totally forget that they even exist. So while she's going through this, she meets a boy in a very strange way, and I actually thought this is one of the funniest intros that a female character meets a male character. And what happens is, well, there are these two boys fighting right outside her house, and she's like, what the heck is going on? And she's kind of just watching and waiting to see if she needs to call the police. And one of the boys, I guess, is the winner, and she runs up to him and she's like, oh my god, are you okay? And he's like, what are you doing? Go away. Don't touch me. Don't come near me. And she's like, dude, what are you talking about? You just got beat. Are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. Just leave me alone. So she's like, fine. And she leaves him alone, and he, she tells him to go into their little shed thing while he kind of gets better, because he's like bleeding and like he just got punched a lot. So anyway, fast forward a little bit, and she finds him still in the cellar, and she's like, dude, I'm gonna call the cops. And he's like, don't call the cops, just help me get to the cemetery and I'll leave, and you won't ever see me again. And she's like, okay, fine. And he's like, well, first you need to find me a big blanket. And she's like, what? And she doesn't know it yet, but he is indeed a vampire, which makes more sense once you figure out what he does with his blanket. So she's like, okay, whatever, you're clearly crazy, but I will get you the blanket if it just makes you leave. So she gets this blanket, and he cocoons himself in this blanket and has her lead him to the cemetery and into this mausoleum so he doesn't touch the sunlight. And I thought that was one of the most clever and just funny. First of all, you know exactly that he's a vampire, which no one outright says it, but you know that's what's going on, because why else would this whack job need a blanket? And two, I just thought their back and forth, their talking was just so real and authentic and hilarious, and it was really, really great. So that's how the book starts off. And as the book progresses, more stuff starts happening. She gets closer to this boy, even though something's telling her this boy is not good. There's something not right with him, which, he's a vampire. But that doesn't come out until way later. So she's trying to adjust to normal life, or as normal as it can get after your parents die. And she's dealing with living with this family that she loves. She's known them for forever, but they're also dealing with the death of the parents. And it's really beautiful how the author paces the story and how she deals with these deaths, and how the character, you know, not quite comes to terms, but you can see her getting more comfortable and loosening up and overcoming her own emotional damages, and I thought that was really beautifully done. But at the same time as she's going through this and trying to live a normal life, there is a string of murders happening, and the murderer is targeting people who only look like Ella. So she's scared that this is going on, of course, because it's a small town. Stuff like this doesn't just happen. But little does she know that she is something called an arc, and has the ability to see into the past. Now, she thinks that she's just going crazy with these dreams about seeing her death and stuff, and each time she dreams, it gets more vivid. And so there's a man who I don't want to get too much into the story behind him because it's a really, really good story, and I don't want to give too much away, but he's looking for her and he wants to use her power for his own good. And the boy, his name is Kale, that she talked to earlier, the vampire dude with the blanket. He is actually also part of her dreams. I don't want to give away too much, but she sees him in her dreams too, which is one of the reasons why she's so drawn to him. And yeah, it's a really great story, excellently paced, like I said. I totally blew through this book without even realizing it. It was really enjoyable. I loved the characters. All of the characters felt so authentic to me, and they were all just so likable. Really enjoyable, and yeah, I loved this book. So what I did here is I'm drawing Ella, and I wanted to draw her in a kind of dramatic yearning pose, and then I drew Kale, who is the boy counterpart. I drew him in the same pose, reaching for her as well, and you see that at the end of the video. Didn't want to add them both because it'd be a little bit too long for this video. I didn't want to get too crazy, but yes, I drew both of the characters reaching for each other, and it was a really cool, I really loved doing this. It was a really great story. I really connected with Ella. She was a great character, and I really felt what she was going through, and I sympathized for her, and it was just so well done. Another thing I like about this book is once the character realizes that another character is a supernatural being, a lot of times in books, they kind of blow it off as not being that important or that bad, but in this book, it's treated like a huge deal, which I really appreciated because finding out someone is a vampire is a pretty big deal. And this book, excuse me, and this book really created some conflict with that. And I really enjoyed that aspect of it, that it wasn't just, oh, you're a vampire, I don't care. It was, oh my god, you're a vampire, this is a really, really big deal for me. So I really enjoyed this book. Everything was just so relatable, and I loved the characters. Like I said, it was just fantastic. So I definitely recommend this book to everyone. It's a series. Like I said, there are a good few books in this series. It's on Amazon right now. Of course, everyone has a Kindle, so go on your Kindles right now and download it. I cannot recommend this book enough. It was awesome, and I can't wait to read more. The ending. Oh my goodness, the ending totally blew my mind. Oh, I don't want to give anything away, but the ending just totally just punched me in the face. Anyway, that's all for this week. You guys have an excellent day, and I will talk to you later.